I want to thank everybody for their participation in this program and pulling this thing together. This is not an easy thing for a small church that hasn't had a baptism in over 10 years. And a lot of people pitched in last minute to make these things work. And we're very grateful for that. Thank you, Michelle and Sledge and Janaea, for doing the music for us. And I want to thank Dave Wallace-Chuck for doing the special music today. It's very special because Dave is Beverly's brother. So guys, come up here. Come up here. You guys can hide behind this thing. It's very big. It'll cover all three of you. So this is Beverly Smith. Beverly Smith is going to be baptized today. This is her daughter, Chris Sakai. Sakai. I always get that wrong. And her daughter, Victoria. So this is like the dessert day for me, because this is the day that I get to see somebody that I've been studying with for a long time make the commitment. And so I am just absolutely overjoyed, and I know that you're probably not at this moment because you're nervous. But I want to give everybody an opportunity to hear the story of what happened in her life, and also in her daughter's and her granddaughter's life. Because I think it's important that we all see how God works in our lives, and we can realize that He's working the same in ours, and for all those around us. So, Beverly, come just a little closer to the microphone. Just come forward a little. There you go. Would you like to start reading first, or?
Well, I could. I don't know how far I'll get.
Okay.
Okay. I feel very blessed to be here today and to have so many of my family and friends to be here too. My mom was very faithful in her prayers for her family, that I know she would be thrilled to know that her prayers were answered here. Anyhow, I've known for a long time that I would have to make changes in my life. 2 or 3 years ago, I was visiting my daughter and her family, and I used my granddaughter's room to sleep in. Victoria had a few books on her night table, including The Great Controversy, and she was only 13 or 14 at the time. But I was so impressed that she was so interested in reading a book, a deep and thoughtful book at her age. It struck me that if a young girl was so devout about her faith, then maybe it was time that I made some changes. It's been a long time to get to this point, but then while talking to my niece Lorinda, and she told me she was taking Bible studies with her husband and some friends, I told her that I would be interested in doing something like that too. And Chris decided that she would join us, and Lorinda and Andrew got things going right away. At this point, I didn't even own a Bible. And another friend just happened to call and tell me that she had a Bible for me, plus A Great Controversy. All of a sudden, everything just started to fall into place, and we started studying once or twice a week, and I began to feel like I was part of something very special. I know my sisters and brothers, as well as some of my children, have kept me in their prayers for years, and I wanted to thank all of you for your prayers on my behalf. I'm so happy that my daughter, Chris, and granddaughter, Victoria, were able to come up from Washington to be here with me. My brothers and sisters are all here to help with today's events. Even a few of my closest friends are also here, and I do really appreciate it so much. I do wish to have had my mom here, but this is only the beginning of my journey, and I sincerely hope to be able to see my mom again. My prayers go out for the rest of my children, that they will see the truth before it's too late. John 19:30 says, "It is finished. The intercession is over." My hope is to have my name on the right book, as well as all of you and our family and friends.
Amen. When we started meeting, one of the things that really struck me early on in our conversations was about your mom.
Yeah.
And maybe, do you want to share a little bit about your mom, or do you, Chris, or whoever feels able to share? We need to hear about Ann Wallace-Chuck.
Well, she was born in Siberia and was orphaned as a very young child. She had a very trying and rough life ahead of her. And when she came to Canada, I don't know how many years it was before she started to attend the Adventist church. But she was so faithful in everything she did, and she spent a long time on her knees. So we used to talk every so often. I was working part-time at the time, so I didn't get to see her as much as my sisters and I guess brothers did, but I'd go over. She liked to play games and stuff, and we'd sit and play games and talk, and she just kept praying for me all the time. So.
Your mom is a first-generation Seventh-day Adventist. You are a second-generation Seventh-day Adventist. You are a third, and you're a fourth. And it was your granddaughter, and sleeping in her room, reminded you of that. Inspired you, and your mom's prayers are being answered today. So, I don't want to drag this out more than it should be, but I really want to. What is it? Was there any one thing when you were studying that really convicted you to be ready today to do this?
I think seeing the changes that are happening in the world around us, that are happening so quickly. And it says in the Bible, the last days will be rapid that are happening. And, it's kind of silly when you really think you know what's going to happen, basically, and you don't do anything about it. And
Chris, would you like to say something? Because, Chris, you were there the whole time. You were there in the studies, and you are also going to, at some point soon, get rebaptized too, but you're waiting for some other people. But
I'll make it. Okay, Victoria, would you like to say something first? No? Okay. I guess I would just like to say, to me, this very day is just a testimony to the power of prayer. And I would just like to thank every person that has ever prayed for my mom. And I would like to say a special thanks to my cousin Lorinda and Andrew for taking prayer and putting it actually into action, and inviting and encouraging my mom to these Bible studies. Look at her life. And my mom's witness today also a testimony to her children. Huge. And I would just also like to say that I especially think the power of mother's prayer cannot be underestimated. And I think my mom is here today largely because of the prayers of her mother. And I believe that the mother's prayers are powerful and may not always be answered in her lifetime, but they will be answered. Thank you.
Amen. Yeah, when I was meeting with Lorinda in a small group and her husband Tony on Thursdays, and we studied sometimes just the three of us, and there were, who can we call? Who can we get to come to do Bible studies? And I heard about Beverly's name a long time before. And I heard about Victoria, and I heard about her life and what she was doing, and that she's you're giving Bible studies to your cousins, right? And what's the age range? Yeah, 8 to 13-year-olds. She's doing Bible studies with them. So I heard about this family, and I was started to pray right away. And I know Lorinda was praying, and I would once in a while we would talk, and I said, "Well, how's your Auntie Bev doing? Is she ready to come yet?" No, not quite ready. But we kept praying, and we did not give up. And here we are standing